Minister, regarding the spy balloons, my understanding is the Canadian people did not find out about the spy balloon from your government. It was actually from the American news agencies. Their government, the American government, told the American news agencies very transparently. So Canadians actually found out about the spy balloon that was over Canadian sovereignty for several days, not from your government, and not from a Canadian news agency, but from an American one. Do you find that acceptable?
First, Ms. Dancho, as you well know, when it comes to the briefings that the government receives from our national security and intelligence community of agencies, that there is a lot of regard to first being careful and cautious around when information is released, so that we do not in any way jeopardize either the integrity of the operations which are being undertaken to protect national security, as well as the people who are engaged in those operations. And that is a matter of the utmost sensitivity, as you can appreciate.
Do you find,
but when we
just on that, Minister, do you find then that the American government doesn't have that same commitment to national security as you've said? I mean, they did share, again, they shared the information with their people long before or before you shared it with us.
I'm glad you added that qualifier, but I would just say, I mean, you allude to the cooperation between Canada and the United States. Canada and the United States were stitched up on this particular event. We shared intelligence. We shared and coordinated our efforts. And as you heard my colleague, Minister Anand, say, we fully supported the United States' actions in bringing
Minister,
down
are you aware
one
of
of those balloons.
Other spy balloons that have been over Canadian territory?
What I would say to you and to the members of this committee is that we are always vigilant around potential threats to our airspace, to our sovereignty, and to our national security.
It's a non-answer.
Can
you commit to this committee that you will be more transparent, or that you'll be the first to deliver the news in the event that this happens again, unlike a few days ago when we had to wait for American news outlets to confirm it?
The government will always share and be transparent when it can, without in any way compromising our classified information, the people who work in these agencies, or the integrity of the operations, which are there to protect the national security and the Canadian people.
Did your government have intentions to release this information at any point, or did you just confirm it because the Americans did? Would your government have released this information if the Americans chose not to?
We are always transparent, as quickly as we possibly can be, having regard to the sensitivity of the operations that are undertaken to protect our national security.
But you can't tell me if this has happened before. You can't explain why you weren't the first to deliver the news to Canadians, and you can't commit if you're going to tell us if this happens again. That's what we're seeing in this committee today, Minister.
The government will always be transparent as soon as we can be when it comes to our national security.
Minister, respectfully, that is not transparent. I think that's a definition of not being transparent by not sharing this information with the public. That's the opposite of transparent.
Well, we have shared information. We have coordinated with our allies. I would argue that the timing in which we made that information available was generally contemporaneous to the events themselves, and we'll continue to share information without compromising either the classified nature of the information that we receive, because we've got people who are in the line of duty. There are lives at stake. There are techniques at stake. This is complex stuff, as you well appreciate, Ms. Dancho, and we are upfront with Canadians as soon as we can be.
Were there lives at stake?
Excuse me, Ms. Dancho, your time has expired.
He can probably answer that. Were there lives at stake as a result of this spy balloon? It's quite significant that he mentioned
very quickly.
We have people who are in the field who work in a wide range of agencies, including in the Canadian military, and yes, every day they put their lives at stake to protect our national interest.